Hello, welcome. I'm Tamara Calder Richardson, and this is the Seeking Heaven channel. And today we're doing a special Spiritual Awakenings International SAI Speaker Spotlight. And we do this once a month because Spiritual Awakenings International it's amazing. It's free. They have these wonderful spiritual guests that speak every month, and we like to feature them so you can sign up and register, and it's all free. But first, I want to bring you the president and the co-founder of Spiritual Awakenings International, and also the author of Touched by the Light, which is a fantastic book, Dr. Yvonne Kason.
Hi, Tamara.
Hi, thank you for being here. I know you're busy and you're remotely doing this, and so thank you for making this happen and being here so we can mention our speaker this month. And before we start, did you want to give any announcements about Spiritual Awakening International? Because there's a lot of programs going on.
Right, sure. Thank you, Tamara. And I am traveling right now, as you mentioned, so I'm in a hotel room secretly. And so if my internet cuts in and out, I apologize for the poor reception. Nothing I can do about it. But yes, I'm Dr. Yvonne Kason, the president of Spiritual Awakenings International. I want to say hello to everybody. And in case people don't know about Spiritual Awakenings International, we call it SAI for short. SAI is an international online organization that is dedicated to raising awareness, promoting networking, and sharing of all types of spiritually transformative experiences. So that includes near-death experiences, mystical experiences, Kundalini experiences, UFO experiences, psychic phenomenon, all sorts of wonderful and fascinating things. And we have online events several weekends a month. We have two English events each month. The first Saturday of each month, we have an experiencer sharing circle, which is an opportunity for people who've experienced any type of STE to come and share in a safe space. And then on the third Saturday of each month, we have incredible featured speakers from around the world. And we're really excited that this month, on Saturday, February the 19th, Ana Cecilia González from Mexico is going to be our featured speaker. I'll be introducing her in a minute, but I wanted to let you know what else SAI, or Spiritual Awakenings, is doing. We now, since November, we also have one Spanish language event per month. So that is the second Saturday of each month. We have an event in Spanish, and we're alternating months. One month, it's an experiencer sharing circle in Spanish, and the other month, it's a featured speaker. And Anna's also going to be giving this presentation in Spanish in March, but you can catch it in English in February, on February 19th.
Fantastic. Well, I have here now, the guest will be, if you want to introduce the guest, and then this will be for the Spiritual Awakenings International, and of course that's .org. I'm going to put that up in a second. That is for the event that's coming up February 19th. So this is an incredible near-death experiencer guest. If you would like to introduce her, and then we can talk more about how to register at the end.
Super. Thank you, Tamara. So I'm really delighted to introduce to all of you Ana Cecilia González MEd. Ana Cecilia is born and raised in Monterrey, Mexico, and she was born with a congenital heart condition that had a very bad prognosis. She was supposed to die, but it literally was a medical miracle. She inexplicably survived. And she has had lots of STEs starting from birth, really. She had repeated experiences as a child with what she used to call the death ghost. But as she got older, she realized that really it was an angel that was looking after her ever since she was young. And she never talked about this for a long time until she wrote her book in 2015, When Life Is Not Forever. And that beautiful book is available in English and in Spanish. And hopefully Ana will tell us a little bit about that. But then on top of all that, in 1989, Anna had a respiratory arrest and a cardiac arrest after an open heart surgery, and she had a powerful near-death experience, as well as several encounters with angels. And Anna says that the near-death experience and the messages she received have changed her forever. So since 1990, she has had several very strong NDE after effects, new psychic abilities, which is very common in NDE experiencers, where she has many out-of-body experiences and she gets communications and messages in her dreams. She says she's received more than 100 different important messages in her dreams, that when she brought it to the person involved, that they would confirm for her that they absolutely knew what the message was. It was true, and it had a lot of meaning for the person who it was intended for. So I'm absolutely delighted that Ana Cecilia González is going to be our SAI presenter on Saturday, February the 19th. And I'll turn it over to you, Tamara, to talk with Anna and get some teasers for her presentation.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Anna, for being here.
Thank you both. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Yvonne. I feel delighted to be part of this. And well, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, yes. And I tell you what, I'm so excited, all the things that you're doing with Spiritual Awakenings International, because you're doing so much with the Spanish community, with the group. So well done. And you also have a Spanish podcast. So people can check that out too. That's wonderful. Well, give us a little bit of a teaser about what you're going to be speaking about on the 19th. And again, if people want to register, they can register at spiritualawakeningsinternational.org, which I'll put up here in a minute. But I know it's going to be good because I know your story and it's going to be great. So tell us just a little bit.
Just as the name says, it's a very simple name. It's Life Goes On. I found out about this since I was very, very young. I understood very young that I was going to die, but I said, there must be something else because of all of this that I've been going through. And that's why this name was so important, because sometimes we just forget that not only life doesn't finish us, but that sometimes when we are as a human being, we forget how life goes on, perhaps with whatever's happening. So yes, I'm going to be talking a lot about my childhood. How was it that I started, probably I never disconnected and I never got disconnected. And how was it that I started noticing that I felt I didn't fit in many ways because I was so different. So I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be talking about my angel, just like Yvonne mentioned, and how many, this is, I'm not going to give more information, but I'm going to show something for the first time. I'm ever going to show everything I did. And then I knew, and I even have some of these recordings from since I was a little girl, everything I did almost every day. And he was my angel. So I'm going to show, this is going to be something very, very special that I'm going to share for the first time.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a lot about my angel and how my life went through. Of course, having, and this is important too, very difficult times, because sometimes when you're a child, parents tell you much more with what they don't tell you than with what they tell you. So there's a lot of information I received for them that was so frightened. I just knew that they sometimes knew I was like, if I was not there, because they really thought I was going to die. When I was very young, they just told them she's not going to live more than 7, 8 years old. Her life is not, her heart condition is not compatible with life. That's what they told them. So just imagine growing up and having parents, well, in my case, having parents that are just expecting you to die all the time. It's scary for them and for me. So I'm going to be talking about all those things that I learned through this process and how I received many, many messages and just trying to ignore sometimes the frightened my parents were.
Wow, that's wow. I know part of your story a little bit already, and I'm excited about the messages that you're going to be talking about. But are you also going to be talking about, it's so cute, Raphael?
That's my angel.
Okay.
That's precisely Raphael, which I called him the ghost. I thought he was a ghost that was coming for me because I was going to die. So I called him like that, ghost, the death ghost. And I always thought he was a ghost that was following me. So whenever I was really feeling bad, I saw him and I even spoke to him and I asked him, don't take me away. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those. Yes, yes, Raphael is a very important character in my, I mean, he's a spiritual being in my life. I'm going to be talking about him, how important he was for me to be where I am right now.
You've
Well,
you've got a pretty good guide having a archangel by your side all the time.
but the interesting thing about this Tamara is that I didn't even know he was that until I finally started writing my book. And in this process, when I was writing my book, I started, when I mentioned him, because I gave him a name when I was a little girl, because I didn't know, in Spanish, you can call a man Rafael and a woman Rafaela. I have a friend who's even made name like that, Rafaela. So I said, well, let's put him in the middle, Rafael. That's why it's called my name, my ghost angel. I mean, this ghost of death that I call him Rafael, because I didn't know if he was a woman or a man. So and then I understood what that, when I was writing my book, we're talking about many years later. So that's why this was so important for me to find out while I was writing my book.
Wow. And then you'll also, I mean, you've gone through a lot of challenges too with having not only your health all the way through adulthood, and you beat the odds way over what they predicted. But you've had also many heart surgeries, which it seems that is behind you now. Praise God, right? You look great. You look healthy. I'm very happy.
I feel great and I feel healthy. But definitely, I'm sure, like just like Yvonne mentioned, doctors don't really understand or believe how I'm still here, and how am I doing so much with my life. I'm looking forward for many, many more years. But definitely, I've had 2 open heart surgeries and many catheterizations and ablations and many other things. But each one of these, I'm going to say this like a teaser, but one of the best gifts that I've ever received is my heart condition. Because that's the way I've been growing so much and learned so much through this, which apparently seems to be a tragic thing in your life. But for me, it has been one of the biggest blessings.
Right. Well, you are definitely not only a survivor, but a thriver. I mean, since this last surgery, I mean, I thought you would rest, but you've been like a spiritual bullet. I mean, you've just taken off. You're doing all these things with SAI. You're taking on the whole Spanish community. You've got this successful podcast. By the way, what is the name of your podcast again? It's in Spanish.
Cuando vivir no es para siempre. That's exactly the translation for when life is not forever.
Yes, beautiful.
So it's cuando vivir no es para siempre. And let me tell you a little bit about this, which I'm also going to talk about, is where does the name of the book come from? Because of course, nobody's going to live forever. I mean, not in this life, not as this human being. And it comes from when I was in intensive care, about to die, because I was in a very serious condition. And I recalled when I was a little girl, 7 or 8 years old, that I understood from doctors and parents that I was really sick and that I could die soon. So I said, well, what do you do when you know you're not going to live forever? So it's just like, when life is not forever, what are you going to do with that? And then is when I had to make a decision as a child. Either I had 2 options. Either I just went on whining about it and I'm going to die and I'm poor me, or just enjoy life to the fullest, to whatever you can go. So that's what I did. I chose the second one. And that's where the name comes from a recall when I was just a little girl. So I'm not going to live forever like I thought everybody would, because you're just a child. You don't think about that.
Well, as a child, nobody does, but you're right. I mean, there is an endpoint on most things, and that is a message for everybody to live their life to the fullest. I love on the cover of your book, you have a tree, because there's an analogy to that tree. Will you be talking about that as well?
Yes, that's precisely one of my near-death experiences, and it has a lot to do with the book. I mean, with the tree. It's a beautiful near-death experience, and I'm going to mention. I mean, I'm going to talk about how what happened during all of that way up to the light.
Mhm.
Yes, a tree is very important for me. And this is something I was just talking about a little while ago with someone. If I didn't even know this, but when I was a young girl, I wrote an essay. Everything comes to connection in a way,
Mhm.
because they asked me, if you were to be something of this planet, I mean, of this earth, what would you like to be if you were like an animal or something? I said, I would love to be a tree, because it stands strong, even though there's a lot of wind and hurricanes and whatever. And I can see from all the way to the top, I can see everything around. So I would love to be a tree. And this was
Mhm.
when I was a teenager, 12,
Mhm.
13 years old. And now, 20 some years later, I had this beautiful experience. So I'm going to be talking about all of that. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, you are that tree. Which to me, a wise tree that stands firm. So, thank you so much for just letting people get to know you just a little bit, and they're going to hear more about this. And I know that people don't always realize, but a lot of near-death experiencers or people who've had spiritually transformative experiences. Dr. Yvonne Kason coined that term. That it is
Yes.
a evolvement. We're still evolving. So I know since I've known you, Anna, I mean, not that we're not all evolving, but you have evolved into deeper depths of understanding what has happened to you. And so I know there's going to be so much more to this story that you tell that you've discovered along the way. So I'm excited about hearing you. So everybody that does want to be a part of this, you can. I want to get this where they can see where to sign up to register. Here we go. So here we go. So they can register at the spiritualawakeningsinternational.org. So is there anything that you would like to end off? Thank you so much.
Yes, I would love
Excited.
I would love to mention something that Yvonne mentioned, that you also mentioned now, Tamara. Tamara, it was very interesting for me that through Spiritual Awakening International, I understood that many of the things I went through had a name and had a meaning. Because
Yeah.
I've gone through so many things in my life, but you never talk about them because
Mhm.
you didn't even have who to talk about them with.
Mhm.
So I really invite everybody to join Spiritual Awakening Internationals, because for me it has been the way of finding out what my life has been about through all of these experiences I've read. I've been translating also the web page in Spanish. So
Yeah.
this has led me to understand and learn a lot about what many of you looking at this have gone through, but sometimes you don't even understand what it is. So
Mhm.
Spiritual Awakenings International can help you a lot with this. So yes, I wanted to say that.
I have to echo that. That is absolutely true. Actually, that really touched my heart because I believe that's very true. If you just read through the website, even just that, and you start seeing there's names to things and labels, and it was Dr. Kason that helped me understand, just very gently, easily explain. Oh, you've experienced these things and these spiritual, and I'm like, yes. How do you know? And she's an expert in these areas and including Kundalini awakenings and everything else. So you can
Yes.
begin to understand yourself more. And so many near-death experiences, especially that have multiple ones, they've had a lot more than just NDEs, but other type of spiritual experiences. And this is something that I have not personally gotten with any other organization except with SAI. The support to
That's right.
experiencers is nothing but overwhelming amounts of love and support, and if need be, education.
It's a blessing for many of us.
It is a
Mhm.
blessing. It
So
is a
Dr. Yvonne Kason and Robert Bear,
thank
thank you so
you.
much.
Well, thank you for those wonderful words. So is it time for me to do my little wrap up, Tamara?
I think so. Before I start crying, because that stopped me. It's like, that is so true. That is
Oh.
absolutely true. And I didn't say, but both of the Seeking Heaven channel and also Anna's is also both a SAI affiliate member. I just wanted to mention that because we believe so much in the organization. Did I say that correctly? Am I speaking for you, Anna? Is that correct?
Absolutely. I'm SAI. I'm part of this, and this is my family for me.
Well, both of you are on the advisory board for Spiritual Awakenings International, so you've made a big commitment, and I'm really glad to have you both as part of the SAI family. And sorry, I hope you don't hear the train whistle going by.
We're live. That's what happens when you're live.
Yeah, but I wanted to say we're really, really looking forward to Anna's presentation on Saturday, February the 19th. So go to our SAI website to register, so you'll get the Zoom link. We send the Zoom link out the day before. You do need to register to be able to participate. And it's free. All of our online events are free. So we're really excited because our mission really is just what Tamara and Anna have demonstrated, is like to raise awareness and help people understand that these experiences that are happening to them are not crazy. They're not a sign of mental illness. And guess what? They even have a name. You know, clairvoyance, clairaudience, premonitions, past life recall, transdimensional experiences, kundalini awakening, mystical experiences. The list goes on. I talk about these all in my book, Touched by the Light, but on the SAI website, we've also got several pages on spiritually transformative experiences, giving you the names of experiences and their definitions. And a lot of people, when they just read it, like what Anna said, you go, oh, I've had that experience. I never knew there was a name for it. And now you at least have a name to call it. And you also have a safe place to come and talk about it with other people who are having those types of experiences, STE experiencers. So everyone's welcome. We hope you'll come to join us at Ana Cecilia González's presentation on Saturday, February the 19th.
Absolutely. Register and we'll see you there. And Anna, I know you're going to be fantastic. You're always fantastic. You don't have to plan for that. Thank you so much, Dr. Yvonne Kason, for creating a beautiful community globally around this world within just a very short time, about a year and a half. You did it. So you and Robert Bear, God bless you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And much love to both of you. And sign up, register, because it's free and it's going to be awesome. And you're going to feel really bad if you're left out. So bye, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.